Hello, this podcast is called Shwananigans. This is technically our first episode, take 2. Our first introduction episode. My name is Andrea Highfield, and I'm here with my esteemed colleague, Shelly Tonner.
Hi.
And so this whole podcast, it's about all the things going on in Oshawa because things are actually going on in Oshawa. We both have lived here a while. Shelly, when did you move to Oshawa?
So I graduated high school in Whitby, and then I moved out to Toronto. And I guess I came back to Oshawa. My oldest was only 1. That would be about 28 years ago, whatever the date was then. And I've been here ever since.
Right on. Technically, I was born in Bowmanville, which is about 10-15 minutes east of Oshawa. However, I left home in the 90s. It was 1990 something, came to Oshawa, and I haven't really ever left here. I feel like this is more my home. I don't know. I like the culture. I like the people. I feel like the whole blue collar thing is more my jam.
Yeah, absolutely. I fit in more with the blue collars than I do with anybody else.
Well, that's right, because, you can be funny, you can have a sense of humor, be a little bit dirty.
A little bit crap.
Yeah, awesome, and have a good sense of humor and still have a sense of community. And, of course, Oshawa has always been known as a GM factory town.
Absolutely.
We are moving away from that, though, with the GM. I think they left back in 2018, and they tried to come back. I haven't heard recently on what's going on with our tariff war, but it looks like another 700 employees might be getting laid off. And so I think Oshawa is moving from being a GM town to becoming more of a city of art, culture, dining, and drink, because you see some people coming up with some great ideas around the area.
I mean, Bollywood tacos.
Bollywood tacos, yeah.
Whoever would have thought to put Indian and Mexican food together? Definitely not me.
Why not? But it works, right?
Yeah. I mean, I've actually seen it on YouTube where people who do like local eats in Toronto have come out here and tried Bollywood tacos and a few other places around.
Right. And you see not only the food fusions, but we have some diners who have managed to hang around for quite a long time. It's some just good home cooked, greasy, make you feel good food. It's not all greasy. There's different types of grease levels. Some are really greasy. Some people like that. And some are just more like regular diner food, sandwich, fries, burgers. And then, of course, we have quite a few fine dining establishments, too.
Yes, we do, actually. And we're getting a few more. Like, I'm noticing things are starting to go a little more upscale. But I still love my hole-in-the-wall diners. I mean, Wally's and Dines will forever hold a special place in my heart. Forever.
Right on. Those are great places to eat. Well, I guess Wally's isn't here anymore, is it?
It's here, but it's different. It's different. It's under new ownership. It's more of again, like a fusion. You can get Indian food there. We haven't eaten there in a while, but, hopefully their nachos are still to die for.
They were good nachos. We'll have to go check it out sometime.
Yeah. That was like the best after bar stop when I was younger. And out hitting the bars and staying up in really late hours. Those were the places we would go and hang out.
Right on. And so, how was your summer? We're at the end of summer where all the kids are going back to school. It's sad that the kids are going back to college, university. And did you have a good summer?
I had a great summer. Just finished moving my youngest up to Peterborough, where he's going to be going to Trent. So he's doing his first year up at Trent. Actually had a pretty quiet summer. I wasn't working, so I had a lot of time to actually die in the heat wave with everybody. So there was a lot of indoor activities because it was too damn hot this summer to do much outside. And, being a redhead, me and the sun, we don't get along very well. So What did we do this summer? We went to the Ripley's Aquarium in Toronto. I'd never been, so my middle child thought it would be a good experience for me because he loves it there. So we did that. We did some road tripping, which was fun. There's lots to see in Ontario, which, maybe we'll go over some of that after we've exhausted Oshawa. But yeah, no, we road tripped. We did the aquarium. There's still a lot of stuff in Oshawa that I've never seen, like the zoo. Never been to the Oshawa Zoo. Didn't even know we had a zoo until a few years ago. So, I may have been here for 28 years, but I'm still learning about the city and what it has to offer.
I also have not been to the zoo. We'll have to go check it out. I also haven't been to Parkwood. And totally, I love that idea. Once we're done with Oshawa, it'll be like Shelley and Andrea discover Ontario.
Yeah, on the road again.
Maybe we'll get one of those fancy campers.
Yeah, yeah. And then we can put it on YouTube and everything.
That's
Make,
right.
make
I
a
love it.
fortune.
All right. And so I also did a lot of indoor things. I watched a lot of movies and TV, and um, I also liked enjoying watching older movies too. So I just want to comment that this year I saw that there was an Airplane 2025 movie put out at the beginning of the summer. And I'm a fan of the original Airplane movie,
Loved Airplane.
Airplane and Airplane 2
Yep,
with Robert Hayes. Is it Robert Hayes?
I believe so.
Yeah, and I just love all the jokes. So I got super excited, and unfortunately, the Airplane 2025 was awful. It had nothing to do with the original Airplane, and I was worried like maybe I just don't like comedy nowadays, but I was happy to see that. I think everyone at Rotten Tomatoes agreed with me. It was horrible. Don't watch it, guys. It has nothing to do with the airplane that we love.
Glad I missed it then.
And I know this year, Jaws, the 50-year anniversary was this year. And I found it so funny, like a lot of the news out of the coastal states, there were a lot of shark bites.
Yeah,
And I was like, well, guys, sharks live in the ocean. Like, come
yeah.
on.
Imagine that, right? Not only that, but I mean, the whole ecological imbalance and all that stuff. So there's going to be a lot more people clashing with nature. And I just, but Jaws is 50 years old. Oh my God. I remember watching that so long ago. Oh, I'm getting old, Andrea. We're getting old.
I know. And then after I heard about Jaws and rewatched it, I also decided to watch Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
My
And
God.
there's apparently a ton of Easter eggs, and if you're into ufology and you're following a lot of what's coming out with whistleblowers and the UFOs and UAPs, you'll find a lot of neat Easter eggs in that movie that you probably didn't think when you were watching it back in the 80s, so that was cool.
Another movie that I haven't seen in a long time. I should rewatch. We went to the movies recently. I've been really disappointed by new movies lately, but I recently saw a movie called Barbarian, which started out as like one kind of movie and then completely turned into something different. And I thought it was really well done. So the producers of that put out a movie called Weapons. So I dragged hubby off to the movie theater, which we haven't done in ages because everybody knows how expensive movies are now, right?
Hmm.
But if you can still get cheap tickets if you want to go before noon. So we paid $10 each to go see this movie. Um, Concession is still going to kill you though, so you could be a little sneaky and right.
Hit
So
Costco and stuff up your pockets,
yeah,
maybe.
yeah, take a
You
big
didn't hear
bag.
that from me, folks.
um, but yeah, so we did the $10 cheap Tuesday morning viewing, and we went and we saw Weapons, and it was good. I wouldn't classify it as a horror. I mean, it had a few jumps, but there were some people in the theater who were having a grand old time being scared half to death. So I guess it was worth it for them. But for me, it was more thriller than actual horror, which is sad because I haven't seen a really, really good horror movie in a long time. Like, just those ones that get under your skin and you think about them and they creeped you out and you walk out of the movie theater with like a shiver going, oh my God, you're glad you're walking back out into the daytime. I haven't seen a good horror movie like that in ages, but it's nice to know you can still go to the movies and not have to pay an arm and a leg as long as you're willing or able to do it, in the earlier parts of the day.
Definitely. And some movies you want to see in the movie theater. Like I saw the new Superman movie, and I don't think I would have appreciated it if I hadn't seen it in the movie, but it was such a that was my favorite movie. And Weapons is holding strong at the box office from what I
Hmm.
can see.
Yep.
I love that. I think they're trying to bring back a lot of the slapstick comedy. So one I did see was The Naked Gun, which
Ah, yes.
they they rebooted it with Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson.
Yes.
And my favorite part of that movie, I'm not going to ruin it, but when Pam Anderson is scatting is my favorite part. I just
Another one.
lost
I
it.
haven't seen it yet. Does it live up? Does it live up? That's all I need to know. Does it live up to the original?
It has its funny parts. Liam Neeson is great, but Leslie Nielsen, he's the best at doing that
Yeah.
deadpan
He's never going to
comedy.
be, you're never going to replace him, ever.
But Liam Neeson is so talented too, and it's great to see him doing comedy. He is
Mhm.
versatile. He had some great comedic parts that he did it perfectly. But I still think that the originals are my favorite.
Oh, 110%. I love The Naked Gun and Airplanes for like that flat comedy. They're great.
So speaking of horror movies, this isn't really a horror movie, but over the summer there was a lot of talk about that haunted Annabelle doll.
Yeah.
And the Annabelle doll, which was based on that character, is based on the movie The Conjuring, which I still haven't seen. Don't judge me. I only watch horror during the day when it's safe.
Well,
So
yeah. I mean,
I don't watch a lot of horror, but I am aware of this freaky Annabelle doll, which apparently is possessed by a child or a demon child, and it belonged to a special museum in the States. And they kept saying she escaped, but I don't know if she escaped or it was part of a tour promotion when they were going around and showing her.
they took her out on tour, and apparently, from what I understand, things did not go very well. Like, it just seemed like Annabelle did not want to be on tour, if you will.
I can't blame her. I wouldn't want to be either.
Yeah,
But
right?
because she's just got to sit in a box all day and just look spooky, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's a
And,
pretty easy gig, if you ask me.
right? And so the latest I heard was her handler. He was found dead in his hotel room around July 13th. And that was during their sold out ghost tour called Devils on the Run. There
Yep.
was no connection to it. People thought there were. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. I don't know. Either way, dolls freak me out to begin with. And this is how much they freak me out. I rewatched Great Balls of Fire, which was a movie about Jerry Lee Lewis. It was starring Winona Ryder, Dennis Quaid. It came out in like 89.
Yep.
And I happened to come along this one part when it's close to the end. It's like an hour and 31 minutes in, and they pan across, and there you see an Annabelle doll. And I'm just like, ah!
uh,
And
you know,
so
the
I
funny
go
thing
ahead.
about that is that whole museum was recently purchased by that young comedian guy, Matt Rife. And people were telling him he better be careful and not let Annabelle out of her box. So hopefully nothing bad happens to him. His comedy is not always my vibe, but he's cute. And it would kind of be a shame to lose a cutie patootie like that to Annabelle, you know?
True. Well, apparently they did take her out to use her as a prop in other movies. However, there's no information if that was the doll that they used in Great Balls of Fire. But apparently she was a prop in The Conjuring, I think.
Yep. Yep.
So I hope she got paid union wages. I don't know.
Good thing they didn't
And
use the real doll for the actual Annabelle movie. That would have
yeah,
been just that would have been just weird. But yeah, the Warrens have had some pretty big cases in their career. I saw the first Conjuring movie. I didn't see any of the sequels, but I do have an invitation to go and see the new one with a friend of mine. So I guess I should watch the other ones and get caught up.
I remember growing up, my grandmother used to buy me those China dolls, and I would always turn them around because they'd freak me out. I don't like
Mm.
any. I don't like dolls. The only doll I liked that didn't freak me out was my baby Yoda doll. And I don't know why, but in the bedroom there can be nothing with a face.
I don't
No
blame you.
dolls.
I don't want anybody watching me while I'm sleeping.
Dolls and clowns. Nope. That's a big nope.
That's funny because I actually collect the Harlequin clowns, the big ones.
Yeah.
But but when we moved, we packed them all up, and I haven't brought them out of their boxes, so they're still sitting in their boxes and have been for the last 15 years. they're
Are,
probably
are,
really they're probably really mad at me now. I'm
oh
not gonna let
no.
them out.
We're going to have Harlequin doll problems.
Yep, in
Loose
Oshawa,
in the Oshawa neighborhood.
right? South End terrorized by porcelain clown dolls.
Dear. All right. And so we discussed a little bit about shows. I was happy to see South Park come back.
Yeah,
They're the tellers of the truth. And they were going to take the season off because they had already done things about Donald Trump. But it looks like they came back because Donald Trump kind of really went a bit crazy this year.
yeah, just a bit.
So if if South Park is commenting on it, you know you done messed up.
Yeah, yep.
And I find it's a good season. If you haven't seen it, I think they're on Paramount Plus. You can, of course, still see their original taping either Tuesday or Wednesday night on Comedy Central. I also like the St. Denis medical sitcom. It's like the Pitt medical drama, kind of the same story, but funny.
But funny, yeah.
Yeah.
I never
And of
got into
course,
the medical dramas. I know people who like fangirl over like ER and Grey's Anatomy, and I know people who watched like every season of Grey's Anatomy like 4 times or something, and I never got into that, But back in the day, Saint Elsewhere, I used to watch all the time, probably because my parents watched it. That was about the only medical drama I ever really watched.
that was a good medical drama.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my husband got me into ER when we
Yeah.
met. It was just ending and we went back and watched it. And then, of course, we love House. House is so cranky.
House I've watched in bits and pieces because my son got into it and was binging it on, was it Netflix? And every so often I'd come up and I'd watch an episode. And then my husband decided to binge watch it from the beginning. And again, every so often I'd wander through and I'd sit down and I'd watch an episode. But I don't think I've actually seen it from beginning to end. House is amazing. I love him. I love the character. He's just such a miserable ass,
Yes. I
miserable
think,
person.
you know what's good about those episodes too is that you don't have to watch it from start to beginning.
Exactly.
You can watch it in different segments and not be lost in what's going on. I know they have some side plots going on, but a lot of it's about a new weird diagnosis.
Yeah, which was nice. Husband also got into something called The Blacklist. I don't know if you guys have ever watched
Oh,
that,
yeah,
but
that was good on Netflix. Yeah, that was
yeah,
a
he
popular Netflix show.
he watched that one faithfully. That those are his kind of stories, not mine. So,
I did get into the Blacklist. It's got James Spader.
hmm,
He's like the golden child of the 80s.
yeah,
It does have some great plots and plot twists. That's pretty good.
it's like a bad guy who's also, in his own way, a good guy.
He's a bad guy, but a good guy.
Yeah, he's a good bad guy.
There you go.
Sometimes those are the best ones to watch, though.
Yeah. Then, of course, I started getting into some podcasts.
Hence why you decided to start one.
Right. I was like, well, if these people could do it, certainly I could do it.
Absolutely.
Right. I should have maybe taken a class or something. I don't know. And so one podcast I really like, it's called Fandom Power.
Yeah.
It's like all things fandom. So if you're like into comic books or toys or movies, uh, they talk about like the superhero movies, the horror movies, different genres.
That one I'm gonna have to look into because I love me my movies
Mm-hmm.
and
The
my
one I
my
heard,
my nerdy thing.
yeah, they were talking about weapons today. Well, I think it was this week's podcast. They were talking about weapons and they were talking about some interesting things. So this week's episode, I think you'll like.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, you can just join Wes, Andy, and Hank as they journey through all things fandom. I hope I said that right.
Yep, fandom. You got it.
I also like Mayim Balik.
Blossom.
Blossom. I just say Blossom and everyone knows who I'm talking about.
I guess
Uh,
for the younger crowd, it would be Amy Farrah Fowler.
that's right. If you say Blossom or Amy Farrah Fowler. And she has her breakdown where they talk a lot about neuroscience, health and well-being. They could be talking about out-of-body experiences, near-death experiences, and all sorts of different things. It's great. And if you are into like science fiction or horror, I also like the Area 52 Debriefed podcast. That's with Chris
Ah,
Ramsey. And he tells it as it were a story. He's a very good storyteller, so he'll take an event and then he'll break it down chronologically. So it's like he's telling you the story of what happened and then he plays clips. It's pretty cool.
that one sounds interesting.
Mm-hmm. And then, of course, with the ufology, we like George Knapp and filmmaker Jeremy Corbell as they have their podcast Weaponized, and they just bring everybody up to date with what's going on with the whole UFO or UAP phenomenon. That community is really gearing up right now. I
A
think
lot of
there's going
stuff
to,
is getting declassified, is it not?
yes, there's going to be a hearing on September 9th in the States, but I'm not going to talk too much about that.
All right.
Because some people who aren't into it, it drives them nuts. They're like, oh,
Yeah,
here we go
there we go
again.
again. Yeah, yeah. Oh, I know. I know. You talk to people about things you're interested in, and they just have no, and they just kind of, oh, here she goes again.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
eyes roll.
yeah, exactly, exactly. And you just kind of go, oh yeah, right. Must be quiet.
That's right. And so
Yeah.
I'm just going to move on to some of the news stories over last summer. So, what with all the wildfire fun,
Mm,
which there were a lot of everywhere, Canada, US, other countries. So,
so bad
uh,
up here that the Americans were complaining about the smoke we were sending them.
yes, we made their news.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, that in turn led to a burn ban where we couldn't have some fires. That was just 1 week in August, so it wasn't too bad. It was just the 11th to the 21st.
Mm-hmm.
There were some areas like Uxbridge, Orono. I don't think Oshawa was affected, but we did have water bans where we had to save our water.
And we didn't get enough rain this summer, so I feel bad for the farmers. Hopefully, we get lots of snow this winter to make up for the lack of rain.
You never know. The weather is crazy. I think
Mm.
the whole climate thing is real.
Oh, 100%. Anybody who hasn't figured that out yet is kind of still ostriching.
Yeah. I don't remember us experiencing 90 and 100-kilometer winds up
Mm-mm.
until starting a few years ago. Like that's new. You have to admit that's new.
100%.
And we had a little bit of crime.
It's just a
Uh,
little, just a little bit.
there's always a little bit of crime. We have to acknowledge the criminals.
Yeah, yeah, we do. Unfortunately,
We're in hard times.
economical times, the bad things are more out of desperation than than just because.
Right. And you know, we're just people trying to get by and
Mm-hmm.
we have a lot of competition.
Mm-hmm.
So people are doing bad things.
Mm-hmm.
So back in July, we had that awful violent swarm attack on an innocent lady. I don't know if she owned Pizza Pizza or worked at Pizza Pizza in the South End. I know she worked there. And the only thing I've heard is that 2 arrests were made. It
Yeah,
was all young teenagers.
yeah. I think the youngest was 11.
Yeah.
That's crazy. To me,
Hmm.
that's crazy. That's just craziness. My kid and his partner used to go there for lunch. Um, and they said she was one of the nicest people they'd ever met. They couldn't understand why anybody would want to do that. I mean, I don't understand the motive behind it either, but then again, we don't have all the facts, right? So,
It's
but I'm
true.
glad that they at least did arrest two of them.
Hmm.
Um, as I think young people nowadays forget that there are consequences for your actions. If you're going to be stupid, you know, there's going to be repercussions.
Well, we're definitely living in a different era. I mean,
Mm,
we used to go up to people's doors and ring the doorbell and run away or make prank phone calls, and that was our doing bad things. But I think things have escalated a little bit.
uh-huh.
Anyways, we hope the best for that lady. We hope that she recovers and they're able
Yes.
to move forward from that.
Yeah, that would be the best case scenario.
Hmm. One thing that really affected me was all of the sex trade or rape crimes going on, where you have these men who are drugging their spouses and allowing other people to rape them.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of hits close to home because they did arrest a few people here in
Mm-hmm.
Oshawa. And I'm not really getting a lot of follow ups on that. But I think it's important to talk about because as a woman, it's a really scary situation.
Absolutely.
And
Luckily,
so,
I don't have a husband like that.
yeah, neither do I. We have good husbands.
Or do we? And we just don't remember.
I don't know.
Have you been on any weird trips recently, Andrea, that I should be concerned about?
That's my whole life. I think if there's no weird trip, then that's the clue. But no,
Mm,
we do have great husbands and we're very fortunate. We're very lucky.
very
I
lucky,
mean,
very spoiled.
I
Yeah,
think the worst thing they've probably done is they've taken naughty pictures of us maybe and then told us they deleted it when they didn't. I don't know.
yeah, yeah,
But you pick your battles.
exactly, right?
But I think throughout this podcast, what we will do is later on, we'll try and interview some agencies that are in Oshawa that can maybe help women so that women stuck in that situation, they know where to go.
Exactly. Get the resources out there. People, there are a lot of resources in Oshawa that people don't know exist, and a lot of stuff that's going on in the city that, I mean, I've lived here for 28 years and there's stuff happening all the time, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know about that, or oh, that sounded like it could have been fun if I had known about it ahead of time. Um, but yeah, I'm just learning about things like convergence. I didn't know about it until it was pretty much over last year. I think I heard an ad on the radio, and that was about it. Now, I have heard one ad for convergence this year on the station that I listen to. I've seen, I think, one TikTok about it, but it's like maybe I just don't listen to the right thing. I don't know.
Yeah, it's all in how their promotion. Hopefully we can get the word out and more people can enjoy these wonderful events going on.
Well, yeah, especially since they're a lot of them. Well, convergence is free. You're going to spend money while you're there, but I mean, it's free to just go and hang out and check out what's going on. But it's a good chance to support like local artists, local businesses, learn about what we have available, who's around. Like I noticed there's a lady that I'm definitely going to want to check out her booth because she makes like really cool purses that I would actually carry because I'm a geek and a nerd, and they call to me. I'm going to have to save some money.
There you have it. That
Hmm.
actually reminds me of one of the news stories. So, one thing that's up and coming actually is I did catch a story where there's going to be some mobile food markets for
Oh,
Ajax, Whippy, and Oshawa with fall fast approaching. According to Oshawa this week, staff and volunteers are going to be running 3 food markets in Durham. And they're going to be prepping for a bounty season of produce such as pumpkins, apples, and more. This is run through Community Care Durham, or CCD, where they have mobile food market locations in Ajax, Whitby, and the newest will be Oshawa. We're still waiting to see what the location is for that. We'll keep you posted. You can expect other things like lettuce, zucchini, and other types of produce as well. So I'm excited for that.
vegetables, very important for your diet.
Yeah,
I keep telling my kids that, especially the one that just went off to university. I know he's going to live on ramen, but I told him to try to get some vegetables in there.
right.
We'll
You have
see.
to fight off the scurvy.
Yes. Hey, with all the old diseases coming back, you can't,
That's right.
you know, Dentists are going to be all like, scurvy's back. Arr.
Maybe they'll create a vaccine for that. I don't know.
Yeah, it's called vitamin C.
There you go. All right. And so just to end the news, I just thought it was funny. The newest trend is that suspects are breaking into ATMs with an excavator. And so that just happened on like September 2nd, where in Whitby on Baldwin Street, someone tried to break into the Bank of Montreal with an excavator.
Wow,
And
we're getting very creative.
well, every time I read that, I remember my grandson used to watch Blippi, and he had a song, the excavator song. I'm an
Mm,
excavator. And it gets stuck in my head every time they rob a bank with one.
I guess we're upgrading from driving cars into them to, heavy machinery.
Yeah.
Wrecking ball should be next.
Yeah. Well,
Mm,
people are going to have to now lock up their farm equipment.
absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
All
So,
right. Go ahead.
so speaking of things in Oshawa that you can do for free, we've got the library, and there's branches all over. So, getting to a branch is actually pretty easy. And if the branch that's close to you doesn't have what you're looking for, they can get it for you from one of the other branches. So, and you can return your books to any of the branches. I had to renew my library card because I lost my job. So, of course, the book buying fund went to nothing. So I had to start getting my books from the library. And I forgot how much fun it is actually to just go in and wander the shelves and find something. But that was definitely an eye opener for me. So if you're looking for something cheap and easy and portable for entertainment, there's nothing better than a book. And the library needs more support now than ever because a lot of towns are starting to shut their libraries down because they're not getting used enough. So I'll get off my soapbox now.
No, that is so true. And now they're saying it's actually better to read paper than it is on a screen. It's a good reminder. I still need to renew my membership too. I might go do that later today. But you can also still rent video games. You can
Movies.
uh, check out movies, check out
Yep.
courses. You can,
Mm-hmm.
if you have to use, say your internet goes out and you need
Yep.
internet, you can use a computer. Um,
Photocopy your resumes for your job hunt. Some branches, I know the John Howard Society has days where they're at certain branches and they'll help you with your resume and job hunt. There's
mhm.
lots of kid programming. They're getting more into teen programming, which is nice to see. They used to be the forgotten thing, and now we've got more teen programming, and it's creative writing, and they've got 3D printing, and they've got maker spaces and all that stuff that kids might find interesting and teens might find interesting. So there's a lot going on just at the library. I was surprised.
And Shelly, you're the big reader. I maybe read a book a year, but you're like huge on reading.
Yeah.
What do you like to read? What can you recommend?
So me personally, I like my horror and my fantasy, and a little bit of science fiction in there. Right now, my author that I'm currently stuck on is Graham Jones. He's a Native American author from the States, and he writes horror. And I just finished his I Was a Teenage Slasher, which was an interesting take on the whole slasher genre and the fact that it could be transmitted like a disease, which was okay. But so it was told all from the slasher's point of view. So it was really interesting because he didn't want to be a slasher. It was a total accident. So that was kind of fun. I also really like Grady Hendrix. Anything by him, I will pick up in a heartbeat. He writes what I like to call nostalgic horror. So a lot of his stuff takes place in like the 70s, the 80s, the 90s. So growing up in the 80s, the late 70s and the 80s, there's a lot of nostalgia hits in there for me. So that's why I like his stuff. He's also just a good writer. Um, I haven't been getting into a lot of new fantasy lately because a lot of it is now leaning in towards the spicy slash romance, and they call it romantasy. Not not my cup of tea. I don't need heavy doses of sex scenes in my fantasy. A little bit of romance is okay, but I don't need hardcore sex in my stories. But I'm not one to yuck on other people's yums. So if that's your thing, at least you're reading. And that is one thing that it has done. The whole spicy, dark romance kind of stuff has really gotten a lot more people into reading because it's gotten a lot more visibility on social media. Uh, so a lot of people are like, oh, everybody's reading the same thing because they're seeing it on social media. Yes, that's true. But on the flip side, at least they're reading. And it was dying for a little while there, and people were concerned about what would happen with the book industry. But, now there's people coming into it. And like I said, read what you like. That's the biggest thing. Don't let anybody tell you you can't read that because it's lowbrow or it's not teaching you anything. Just read what you like. Read for
Mhm.
enjoyment. You're not in high school anymore. You don't have to tear the book apart and look for themes and all that stuff that made you hate reading when you were in high school.
Hmm.
Now you can just read it because you want to read it.
Yeah, if you like science fiction, if you like mystery, if you like romance, if you like graphic novels, even.
Yeah,
Um,
graphic novels are really popular, and I think a lot of old classics are being turned into graphic novels. So, like my son just picked up a copy of Brave New World as a graphic novel, and to
that's
me,
cool.
that's fantastic. That's one of my favorite science fiction um, dystopian novels. Is Brave New World. But knowing that it was written so long ago, it can be a difficult read. But if they put it into a graphic novel, it makes it more accessible to a larger audience.
Hmm.
So for me, graphic novel, 100% a legitimate form of reading. Audiobook, 100% legitimate form of reading, even though you're not using your eyes. You're getting the same information from the story. You're getting the story. You're getting everything that somebody who read the physical book got. So
Hmm.
I don't care how you ingest the story. The fact that you're getting into the story should be more important to anybody. My 2 cents.
Right on. Maybe I'll try and do some more reading. I'll try and do like a book a month.
That would be cool. Maybe we should buddy read.
Yeah, we should have like a
Our
tally.
this is our podcast book for the month. This is what we're going to try to read,
Yeah,
and then at the end of the month, did you finish it? No. Why not? Wasn't my cup of tea.
yeah.
Perfectly fine.
Or you could be like, oh yeah, it took me 2 days.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been just waiting for you to catch up, Andrea. Come on. Like, when are we going to talk about it? I was done 2 days ago.
Right on. Well, thanks for the suggestions.
Yes.
Actually, I just came up with an idea because the my grandson, he's always watching the YouTube videos about video games, or he
Yeah,
likes the video games.
my kids went through that phase. Yeah.
I was like, you know what? The video game companies should produce books and call them cheat books to see
Yes.
if the kids will pick them up and read them
Mhm.
just to get them reading. Maybe we can
Yep.
trick them into reading.
Yep. Yeah. One of my favorite video games is BioShock, and just because I liked the game, I actually went and there's a book. There's a BioShock book that tells the story about how it ended up the way it is in the games. So it
Hmm.
starts at the beginning of why it got built, how it got built, and then how it devolved. It was great. It was great. Like, you can't get that kind of info in the game, but you can get it from books, fan fiction, even whatever.
BioShock is a great game. That's my son's favorite. And I got a hold of a copy and it's so scary. I can only play it during the day when it's safe.
I finished the first one. I played through the second one. I've gotten myself stuck in an endless loop
Yeah.
of dying and coming back to life simply because I have no ammunition. So when I come back to life, I have no ammo. I can't fight. So I have to literally start from the beginning.
Oh, is there
So
no way you can go back to a save point?
no,
No.
my save point is where I respawn and I stuck myself. So I have to start over.
Oh, I hate that. Well, that pretty much wraps it up for us. We're just going to talk about what is to come. Our next podcast, it's going to be all about something called Scenes from a Cemetery.
Yes.
This is so exciting. I'm just going to give a quick description. On September 13th, and 14th, you can take a tour through Oshawa's Union Cemetery. Ooh, with a dramatic tour and scenes from the cemetery. On this tour, actors will bring stories to life and they'll be portraying people from Oshawa's past. So it's a way of learning history from people acting as dead people.
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool.
It sounds morbid, but I'm thinking it would be really interesting.
Well,
So
yeah.
I'm looking forward to talking to them.
So this is an event put on by the Oshawa Museum, and I found the tickets are on sale at simpletix.com, but it's easiest just to type in your Google scenes from a cemetery and you should get tickets. But we're going to talk to those actors, find out what it's all about. And then coming up after that, we have that amazing Convergence Art Festival that's September 19th to the 20th.
Which we're going to check out.
Yeah, I'm super excited. It's a music and art festival, but it's more than an event. It's a movement that transforms Oshawa into a hub of creativity, connection, and cultural discovery. You really can't explain it because I
No,
saw a little bit.
yeah, I think it is definitely something you have to experience. You can't really explain it. Hopefully, once we experience it, we'll be able to explain it a little better.
You can just go to convergenceoshawa.com. They do have their schedules out, but it is quite the experience.
Lot of shopping.
Lots of cool stuff.
Yeah,
Lots
I
of
think they have
swag.
like live wrestling and everything.
Yeah, that was last year.
Hmm.
They definitely had lots of people up in cosplay. They had musicians.
Yep.
They have food. They have different booths with lots of different, I think, something for everyone. If you like crafting, if you like horror stuff, if you like horror stuff and crafting.
Yeah, there's definitely horror crafters.
So we're going to leave it at that. Do you have
All right.
anything else to say, Shelley, before we sign off?
I'm excited to be exploring Oshawa and learning all the new things that are happening in the city that I didn't know about before.
Right on. Me too. I share that enthusiasm, and we'll see you on the next episode. Goodbye.
Have a great day.